Welcome, Reds from around the world. Thank you so much for joining us here for this preview of Manchester United versus Aston Villa. And of course, this is a day to remember for all of us, not just me, who is preparing for this, but also the world is back in lockdown. And by the world, I mean Ireland. I have no idea what anyone else is doing around the world. All I know is that I'm a miserable bastard all day because of this. Any chance of me getting a girlfriend or even just a quick rub is gone. But here we are. It's great to be joined here by the wonderful Temi, as per usual. And back from, I'm not going to say the dead, I'm not going to go that far, but back from oblivion, the wonderful Gary. Gary, it's wonderful to have you back. Thank you so much for joining us for the first time in a good while. Yeah.
It's been a while.
It has been a while, but can you remember the last time you were on?
Probably about a month ago, 2 months ago.
Because I'm hoping you're not you're the reason we went on this great run, but the fact that you haven't been on in so long, it wasn't like the in around the Arsenal game, was it? I just don't want to jinx us going into the game.
I wasn't here on the Arsenal game.
So you're gonna kick him off right now.
I'm just gonna say, like,
I will go. That's the
case. Well, no, I think the problem is the damage is done no matter what, so you might as well stick around.
Yeah.
But guys, in the comments, thanks so much for tuning in. Please, wherever you're watching us, go to YouTube /Off United on YouTube, log in there and hit like on this video because it means that you like us and we're very likable people. So please do that. Join us. It's the best place to find us, and please like and subscribe. And thanks for joining us. We've got Jacob in. Thanks so much, Jacob. And thanks so much, Stuart. Two wonderful people, our frequent collaborators. Thanks so much for being here, guys. It's always a pleasure to have you. But we are here to discuss Manchester United versus Aston Villa. Leading up to this game, I cannot believe that we're in a position where Villa are coming here and looking very, very good. Very, very good. I think we did a preview on, I was discussing this with mates of mine anyway, and a lot of people were saying it's going to be Roy Hodgson or what's his name, or Dean Smith would be the first managers gone this season. So I can't believe I'm going into this game kind of worried. I didn't expect this at the start of the season. But Temi, we'll go to you first. How do you think we should set up to counteract this very attacking Villa?
No, yeah, I think he's probably going to go back to Fred and McTominay again, if I'm guessing. Obviously, Villa have a lot of energy in midfield. I think I like a lot of their players, even the low key ones like Douglas Luiz. John McGinn's not really low key, but really good player who was hurt a lot of last year, which is a big reason they struggled. And they're pretty much to match their enthusiasm and their energy with probably bringing Fred and McTominay back in the side, even though a lot of fans don't want to hear that. It's worked in games where we need that spark plug, and I think this is one of those games where we definitely need that spark plug. So I think we're definitely going to go back to 4-2-3-1 or 4-4-1-1, whatever you want to call it. Back to business as usual. We might see Fred and we might see Pogba and Matic maybe get rotated out again. Who knows? But I definitely think that it's going to be a very interesting game. But a game I think that's very winnable for us because if I'm a betting man, they're probably going to try and play football against us because that's what they've been doing throughout the entirety of the season. I don't see them changing up at any point now, and they're in a good position in the table. So why not, act like it? I think that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, and you know what happens when people try to play football against us? We beat them 5-0 and they wear horrible jackets and we make fun of them. And then eventually we lose on the away leg. But we won't discuss that. Gary, for yourself, how do you see us going into this game? Is it the same as usual or what do you think?
No, I agree. I think McTominay would be playing with Fred. I think McTominay would be brought in to snuff out Grealish because he's the key player for them, isn't he? So I do think he'll be brought in. And I wouldn't be surprised Van der Beek might start as well. Maybe, I don't know. But I think also on the right, I think Matter might be given a chance this time. I think Greenwood's been a little bit off it recently. I'm not sure what you guys think on that. But I think McTominay definitely start with Fred. And I think, as Tim said, Pogba will be on the bench. And I think so will Matic.
Yeah. But and the thing is as well, it's like I was saying at the beginning, like Villa have been incredibly impressive this season. Like I said, I didn't think Dean Smith would last as far, and a lot of that is down to their main man, an ex, I don't want to say an ex-club, but an ex-country man of mine. How much it pains me to bring that back up, Mr. Jack Grealish. So, Temi, he is our main man. We have to keep him quiet. He is their Bruno Fernandes. Do we stick man-to-man on him? Do we let him have a bit of freedom and just close around him so he has no one to pass it to? What way do we go? And, Gary, I think you have a bit of background noise going on, is it? If you can alter that.
I think it's my son's playing his music upstairs.
Okay.
That's too funny. But to answer your question, I definitely think that it's going to be very difficult because Grealish likes to roam around a lot. That's something that he's really special at. He has a lot of freedom in that side. Obviously, he starts on the left, but he operates in multiple positions. I think that Ollie's going to be smart about it, be compact. We've never really been the team to kind of, every once in a while we'll put one person on somebody like we did with Neymar against PSG and McTominay, but that doesn't happen too often. I don't think it's going to happen in this game. Jack Grealish is going to, find it. I think he's going to find it difficult when Ollie wants to kind of sit tight and be compact, which is possible in this game, because they have a lot of decent flair players. I'm not say really good, but they have a lot of decent flair players. So I think that it's going to be business as usual. I think our fullbacks have the wherewithal to handle them because I've seen all of our fullbacks handle, defensively at least. I've seen all of our fullbacks, Wan-Bissaka, obviously Luke Shaw's done it in the past. I think they're able to handle, tough opposition on the wing. So I think that's how Ollie's going to approach it, kind of business as usual. Even though Jack, wonderful, wonderful football player, and definitely wish Villa would have gone down so we could have him right now.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely dead right. And Brown Knight just brought up a good point. But they beat Palace with 10 men. Like, these are a very, very good, well-drilled side. And for me, I always think no matter who you have, no matter what players you have, if you don't have a manager that can make them play, you're not going to get anything from them. And then maybe Dean Smith needed a season in the Premier League to keep up. Like, I agree with you, Tammy. I would have preferred if they went down, even if it meant that we got... I do like Villa. I have friends that are Villa fans. But, like, if it meant we got Jack Grealish, and he's the sort of player we do need, even though he makes me sick having to say that. But, like, they are well-drilled, and... Like, my comparison for this, for always a good manager with a bad or with a less than talented team. If you look at Belgium for so many years at World Cups and Euros, especially the last 10 years, doing absolutely nothing with the manager they had. And then Martinez comes in and they get to a semi-final. It's just about getting the right man in the right place, and they definitely have a great manager with Dean Smith. But Gary, on Jack Grealish, and guys, keep your comments coming in. Discuss what we should do with Jack Grealish, and please, if you're not watching on YouTube, go to YouTube, like the YouTube video, because it means Ben will buy me a birthday present. My birthday's coming up in a month, by the way, so please keep that in your diaries. But Gary, sorry, over to you.
Yeah, I think Grealish, as I said, is the key, and I think if we put someone like McTominay on him, man marking, snuff him out, put him out of the game, that would be ideal. I do think it'll be more of an open game. They'll be more offensive than obviously Wolves were last night, because that was a dreadful game. I mean, they were set up to play for a point, without a doubt. We eventually got a goal in the end, but I don't think it'll be that sort of game. I think it'll be a totally different game. Villa will go for it. As you said earlier, they're doing well in the table, well in the league. They'll want to go for it, and I think we play better with teams that are more open and more offensive.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry there. It's like this is a game that plays right into our hands very well. If they try to play football, that's when we play our best. But in saying that, like you said, the game against Wolves wasn't the best that we've ever played. We did get the win, thankfully, Rashford. And but they set up very compact, which is the worst thing for us, and they still managed to get a couple of chances away. But if we go into this game, Villa have a day's more rest than us, unlike same as we have a day less. I'm trying to do the math here in my mind. We have a day less, Villa have a day more. So it's the same but opposite as the Wolves United game. So does that mean we should be a bit more worried, Temi, or we should approach the game any differently, or should we not expect fireworks?
No, I don't think. I mean, obviously, having a day's rest obviously is advantageous, but I think that's going. that all of that evens itself out. I don't think we should think too hard about it. Ollie's been rotating the squad really well recently. You got to give him credit for that. So I think we'll be fine. I mean, a lot of our, main players have been getting games every other game in this Christmas period, like the likes of Fred and McTominay rotate out with Matic and Pogba. Greenwood rotates out for Dan James now, it's looking like. We've seen cameos in, the center back positions. Baye's in now. Seen Tuanzebe come in for different points. So I think he's been doing a good job of rotating. Rest is important, obviously, but I think if you have the luxury of having a squad as deep as ours, you shouldn't be complaining too much. I think Villa, albeit they have an extra day's rest, they don't have the squad we have. So they've probably been playing most of their big time players consistently over the past month with no rest. So I don't think we should use that as an excuse in the slightest.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. And I also look at the fact that we are playing in the FA Cup the next game after this against Watford. So that is our opportunity to rest players, is that game, not for any other games, or not for the Villa game when we can ideally rest them against Watford. Because we do have a kind of a big game coming up in a couple of weeks' time against some Scousers down the road. So I suppose we can rest them for that match. Brown Knight with a bit of trivia. It's Sir Alex Ferguson's birthday tomorrow, and he will be most definitely getting a birthday wish from me. And Joe, when is your birthday? And my birthday is the 27th of January, which is the day before our current manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So make sure to give him a shout out, but make sure to get me a present. But Gary, over to you. Will this lack of rest, will the fact that we'll have an extra day, will this affect us negatively, or do you think we'll get through it?
We'll get through it. I mean, it didn't make any difference against Wolves, did it? They had less rest than us, but I know they rotated some of their players, but they still seem to cope against us. And I think we'll be fine against Villa. We've got a lot of strength and depth. I mean, our bench is a lot better compared to most teams. If you look at it, when you look at the team sheet, we've got some quality players on the bench. I don't really make any difference whatsoever, in all honesty.
Oh, that's fair. And actually, to go back a little bit, Gary, we're going to touch on, as you guys might have seen today, Fosu Mensah got a new contract, or has reported that he's getting a new contract. We'll touch on that briefly, what you guys' opinion on that is. But something you touched on earlier, Gary. And guys, keep your thoughts coming in the comments. They're all very much appreciated, and we'll put them up. If you have any questions about or anything to do with that. Brown and I put up this question. Do we still have a Gallo, or is he gone? I think he's there for another 2 weeks or something like that. I think he's still at the club. He's still getting 100 grand a week, so don't feel too sorry for him. But you touched on something, Gary, there about Greenwood. He hasn't been at his best this season so far. What are your thoughts on him so far? And do you think he'll feature against Villa?
I think he'll be on the bench. In my opinion, he is a class player for us. I just think the last few games he's gone off the boil a little bit. And I think we should be playing get Mata a game. He's got that experience down the right. I think it's been discussed in the past that Greenwood will eventually be a number 9. There's no doubt about that. I just think at the moment, I think he's just gone a little bit quiet. He does the odd step overs a few times. They don't always come off, but I think he's doing good just to be on the bench and maybe come on in the second half, make a bit of an impact. Same with Cavani as well. Yeah,
he's on my fantasy football, so he better come on and he better fucking score. Temi, for yourself, have you been a little bit disappointed, or is it just natural for a 19-year-old? And where do you think he'll feature tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm not disappointed. Disappointed is a strong word. I expect this from a 19-year-old. Obviously, he's not going to be a right midfielder his whole career. Like, that's not going to be the case in the slightest. But like Gary was saying, he's just kind of lightweight, so he can't play up top, in the Premier League right now. It's just not realistic to expect that from a 19-year-old. There's the kid from Wolves, Fabio Silva, right? You can see it. Like, he's 18. He wasn't supposed to play this year. Jimenez gets hurt. He comes in. He looks completely confused. And I think, that's just the growing pains of an 18, 19-year-old at the top level. You know what I'm saying? So disappointed, no. I don't think he should be starting, every single game. Like, I think what we did with him last year was perfect. Let him come in, change a game. When we are, when things are kind of shaky, he can come in and bring that spark plug. And that's what his role was last year. And then obviously at the back end of the season, he started starting more games. But I think he's just going through that little rusty period. And he's learning about the game, learning the defensive side of the game. and he's doing that stuff. He's doing that defensive part, pretty decently well. He's tracking back and doing the right thing. So no, disappointed, not at all. Not everything's about goals. I want to see him improve as a football player. You know what I'm saying? I think goals are beautiful and nice, but the best players in the world know how to play football and score goals. So that's just the development of him right now. And I think he'll be great. He'll be a great player for us, no question.
Goals are lovely and nice. That what you said? That is quite the quote. We'll take that on to the grave. But guys, we're running out of time here. Just quickly, since the news came about Mensah, first of all, do you think it's deserved? And what do you think his future is at the club? Do you even think he'll be on the bench or coming near the starting 11 for the game against Villa? Gary, I'm going to go to you first because you look like your head's about to fall off.
It's like another Phil Jones. I mean, Phil Jones is stealing a living, $100,000 a week. He's doing very well, isn't he? Timothy Mensah, I understand if you want to keep the player's value intact for a transfer, but not give him a 4-year contract. That's just outrageous. Yeah. He's hardly figured for the team. And was he on loan at Palace? Fulham. So he gets a 4-year contract. We'll probably end up loaning him out again. It's crazy. I understand. The player's value, don't let him go for free, but don't give him a 4-year contract, please.
Yeah. Tammy, for yourself, your thoughts on this contract?
Yeah, it just still shows that there's a lot of, there's a lack of like common sense up top. Like there's truly a disconnect because sometimes you look, it's like, all right, we're making some signings. Obviously, there's a lot of positive things we can talk about. Over the transfer window for the past maybe year and a half, we signed Bruno and we signed AWB, which I think was a great signing. Harry's coming into his own, it seems like. So like there's a lot of positive things we can take, but then you do things like, sign Marcus Rojo to a big contract. You sign Phil Jones to a big contract. You sign, I love Juan Mata, but I think he should be on a year-to-year basis at this stage in his career. It doesn't make any sense. And signing him to a 4-year contract just makes him unsellable because he hasn't done anything. He literally has done nothing for this club, if we're being honest about it. So the fact that he's getting a 4-year deal just shows that we still desperately need a director of football because these guys still don't have it all under control. They still don't have it all under control. We're going to see another player. We might see Pereira get another contract. Who knows? We might see Lingard get another contract. Who knows? It's very, very, very frustrating when you have – I don't want to call them deadwood because I don't like calling players deadwood because they're professionals, but it doesn't make any sense. He's a Crystal Palace Fulham quality player. That's what he is. He's not a Manchester United quality player. No offense to him. But it's just why don't we just keep Dalot at that point? I mean, he's doing so good for AC Milan right now. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I have to completely agree with you. I don't get the need for this whatsoever. It just boggles my mind. He's had a lot of potential a couple of years ago, but that's worn out. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But the final point on the Villa game, we're playing at home again, which of course means we're definitely going to win. But what are we going to win by? Temi, what do you think the result will be? And first goal scorer.
I'm actually predicting a relatively high scoring game today, or not today, but in a couple of days. I'm probably going to go for a 3-1. I think Villa's going to play good football. It's going to be a close 3-1, if that makes sense. What I mean? It's not going to be a blowout, but I think there's going to be goals in the game. And my first goal scorer is going to be Anthony Martial. I'm calling it right now.
Of course you are. Gary, for yourself?
It's going to be a close 2-1.
First goal scorer?
A close 2-1, and it's going to be Grealish to score first for Villa.
Ooh,
out of the blue. Okay. We're just after, say, 5-10 minutes because it probably wake us up. And then I think possibly Rashford and then maybe Cavani to come on in the second half for Martial.
Oh, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna go for 3-1 as well. I'm gonna go for Greenwood, the first goal scorer.
Okay.
But that's it, guys. Thanks so much for joining us here in this preview. We're just at 20 minutes. Please make sure to follow Gary. Please make sure to follow Temi. And please make sure, wherever you're watching, to come over and like this video on YouTube, because it really, really helps. And it does. It takes you guys 2 seconds and it helps us for a fucking lifetime. So please, thanks so much, guys, for joining us. Subscribe, like all United stuff. Be back here. I'm not sure. I don't even know what day it is. I think tomorrow is Women's Weekly. I think that's tomorrow, but it might be tonight. I don't know. Go over to the YouTube and you'll find out. Thanks so much, guys. It's been a pleasure. And I didn't set up the outro, which I never do. See you later, guys. Peace out.
Yeah.